Welcome back to part 2 of this tutorial. In part 1 I showed you how to do the layout for module 1, and all the others that are in the upright orientation are exactly the same, where you're putting the photograph and the certificate in exactly the same way as you did for module 1. Now what I'm about to show you is how there is a slight difference really with the horizontally placed ones, and this is where you may have taken a vertical shot. Modules 5 and 6 we're yet to see what that's going to produce, but we'll have to just wait and see. Adjustments may need to be made accordingly. I mean, for example, this logo might have to be moved or made smaller, anything like that, just to allow for any flexibility. Okay, so I'll get rid of this, and we now still have our A6 template up, and this is in the upright mode. So I just need to go to the image menu and go to image rotation and 90 degrees counterclockwise, and then we can bring the page up bigger by Control and 0, and that's it, filling the screen. So exactly the same template, just turn through 90 degrees. The photograph can go on this side and the certificate on this side, and both can be a bit bigger than they were in the vertical format. So I'll go up to File and Open, and we want the Module 3 one, which was the reflections. And if I get the that's the reflection one. So if I just drag and drop that over onto the template, just anywhere here, and as we can see it's too big again, so Control and T and then Control and 0, and grabbing one of the corner handles here and holding the Alt key down lets me shrink it to within the template bounds. Control and 0 to bring the template up to full screen, and what we're trying to do now is to click it to the top and to the left, and the priority this time is for the bottom edge to snap to the bottom guide here. So if I just grab that down, and it has snapped to it, and then just bring it to the left, the right a bit, and that's it's there. So just to check that we are snapped properly, I'll just Control spacebar and bring out the magnifier, and that can just come in just a tweak. So I click the tick there. Again, it's just a little bit over the edge here, so what I need to do is use the marquee tool, bring up the layers, pressing F7, and just to make sure that we are on the correct layer, drag out the vertical box to snap to the guides. Control Shift and I to invert the selection, and then press Delete, and that's tidied up the right hand edge. Control D to deselect. Right, now to bring the certificate in, I just need to click that to Move tool, go to File and Open, and this PDF document, open, That opens in its own module. I can now get rid of the photograph, and again just drag and drop this over to the right hand side. Again, it's too big. Control T, Control 0. Hold the Alt key down, shrink it down to a manageable size, Control 0. And the priority now is to keep this over to the red grid, and then bring it up to the center there, so that it is the central handle snaps to the center of the grid line there. Okay, so it's now a case of enlarging it up so that this right hand side snaps to this line here. So that's snapped nicely, and that is here. As you can see, it is a bit over on the top and the bottom, but we can just really trim that. It's on the certificate border, it's not affecting any of the wording on it. So I'll just click the tick, and again use the marquee tool, starting from the red guide and drawing out to the from the red grid, I should say, drawing out to the blue guides. Convert or invert the selection by Control Shift and I. Press delete, and the certificate is now the same height as the photograph. Control D to deselect, and then it's just a case of flattening this down and saving it as a JPEG. In the appropriate folder, which would be Module 3. And I've already saved it as a JPEG there, so I won't override it, but all you do is put in print insert mod 3 or something to that effect, and then just save it. Okay, so I'll just quit that. Next, in part 3 of this tutorial, I'll show you how to do the layout for the main A3 document and how to bring in the finished JPEGs that we've got so far. Also, I'll show you how to do the camera school logo that I just pinched really off one of the certificates, just copied and pasted that. So see you in part 3.